What's up, everybody? I am outside. I just noticed there over there in the back. We're trying. Everybody's trying to enjoy outside today. It's a beautiful day. The sun is out. Look at how green it looks. I saw a couple blue jay birds out here, and I will let you know that my dad has been working with some machine out here. So he may disrupt the video a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't distract you a little bit, but it is a beautiful day outside, and I've really been feeling a certain way, and I wanted to share a real video of to talk about some things, especially about just coming from my own personal life. It's been a couple weeks ago, this past couple months, that I was describing about really being in a state of a funk, as I could describe it. I actually had recorded myself a couple weeks ago. What was it, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? I'm not even sure. 2 weeks ago, I think. So I'm gonna play it for you guys, and I want you guys to watch it, just to kind of show you guys how I was. So I'm gonna play it and come right back. Hey guys. So I'm not gonna try to pretend that I feel this a bit, because I don't. So today is the first day that I leave the house in 2 weeks. I came to the store to buy groceries. I have this here because I put my glasses on. Should I leave them on? I should, so I'll look less crazy. I haven't left the house in 2 weeks. It's like a really good day today. Today's Easter Resurrection Sunday. The weather's beautiful. Today's April 12th. And I almost didn't want to leave the house. I'm almost literally just at home all the time. I do not leave. I'm there. Thankfully I still get to work from home, so I've been working. I haven't been out at all, so I almost feel a little weird being here. It was getting in my car, I felt weird driving. I was like, wow, it's crazy how your brain can just start to adapt to this whole new lifestyle. There's some people here with masks, there's some without. I see some people with gloves, some people no gloves, no mask. I brought masks and gloves, thankfully. I had some there at the house. What is my point of making this video now that I'm making it? I guess I want to look back, and this is probably not to post. It'll probably just be for myself because this is new. I need to get out. I need to get out a little bit, and obviously I need to get groceries because there's 10 of us at the house, and we're all helping to get stuff, and I need to get some eggs and bread and milk and essential stuff. So I have no option but to leave the house today. So yeah, it's been crazy. I have been literally just going through I don't even know how to describe it. I just haven't been myself at all. I'm dealing with some internal stuff right now that I'm really trying to get out of, and thankfully I finally reached out to some mentors and a friend yesterday, and I was able to talk about it, because I've been just keeping it to myself, and you almost want to log off of social media and stuff, and just from everybody from the world, so yeah, I have closed myself off completely from everything, and it's almost because I have a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with that I don't want to I don't want to kind of put myself out there, or even for anybody to see me like this. It's just kind of you're just to yourself in your thoughts, just kind of dealing with stuff. And I'm really praying to get out of this funk. That's all I've described it like a funk, and like even like just this sadness. But at the end of the day, I know like God is working in my life, in my heart, in my mind. Like there's moments. There's this one quote that really stuck out yesterday from the entire day that I've been like holding on to, and it's, even in the dark, God still speaks. And it went back to like Genesis, to the creation of the world when there was nothing, you know? And that was so deep, because that's how I feel. That's how it feels in the world. Like it's dark, but the word was like, man, even then God is still speaking. So the question is like, what is he speaking? You know, what is he saying? And so God is speaking, you know, he is still moving. He's still at work. Even if like the news seem to be getting like worse and worse by the moment, it's like he's still in control. Like he's still doing things. Like he hasn't abandoned us. God still has a plan. And so I'm just kind of making this to kind of put it as my going through the motions, where it's like it's not always happy, it's not always you don't always feel like 100. Like there are days like you're gonna feel like, pardon my word, like crap, you know? But even then, like despite the feelings, despite this, like God is he's still real. So yeah, I just wanted to share that today. So okay, so as you saw, you know, that was just a small clip of how I was feeling that day. Not that day, but kind of like what was in my mind. And you know, during these times I can completely relate. There's been a whole new set of stress, a whole new set of anxiety. It was a lot. It's been a lot to deal with. And you know, I think that even me being a Christ follower, and you know, I love God, I have faith, my life revolves around him, but even then I have to remind myself that I am human, I am weak, I have things that I have to deal with, and it's okay to not be okay sometimes. You know, you don't always have to have it together. If you're like me, I'm gonna completely put myself out there. You know, I am the type of person who has always felt like, you know, I have to have myself together all the time. I think sometimes I try to be this superwoman, as I describe it, where I feel like I can do it all. You know, I don't like asking for help. I don't like saying I can't. I always really try to, you know, go far and just, Stephanie has it all together. And that is such a weak mentality, because you may think that that's a strong mentality, but in reality it's not. I think when you try to feel like you can do it all and you can get things done and you don't need to ask for help, that's actually a weak mentality, because you're actually putting so much pressure on yourself to how do you say it, to produce. You put so much pressure on yourself to be help everyone else, to super exceed everything. And I mean, I think it's a good, you know, because we always tend to go far and like, you know, push ourselves, but at the same time you can forget about yourself, and you end up completely just like wrecking yourself. You do. If you don't really take care of yourself, and you don't know how to ask for help, and you don't know how to just kind of put limitations on yourself sometimes, it's really easily to kind of put yourself in a spot of breakdown. So I've had to be when I was feeling that way, it came to the point one day when I was just like, I had some people reaching out. I had some friends, who like, hey, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you and stuff. And, if there's some people who will actually open up and you'll share how you feel. And sometimes you'll be like, I'm okay. And nobody knows. And I think it's so important for us to just be vulnerable sometimes when people ask us, hey, how are you doing? And I had to be realistic, and I had to say, hey, you know what? I'm actually not okay. I'm actually dealing with this, and that. I haven't been feeling like myself. I'm dealing with anxiety. I'm dealing with this sadness in my heart, just a lot of stuff. And, number one, I had to reach out. I really did. I had to realize, what? I can't take this anymore. And, thankfully there are people who have helped me along the way. Number one, the enemy tries to always keep you in a cave, tries to make you shut up. And again, I'm the type of person who I'll shut down and I won't let anybody in. I won't let you guys see the side of Stephanie that is weak. I won't let you guys see the side of Stephanie that is, that can't do it, And so, number one, don't close yourself off, especially in times like this. I think it's important for you to reach out to someone, ask for help. If, unfortunately, people won't know you have a problem sometimes. They won't unless you really open up and say, hey, I'm not okay. Like, the devil wants you to stay in your room completely segregated from everybody else. I think being indoors alone as doing that and like not leaving and completely separating yourself from someone is like everybody else is isolation. And so you can isolate yourself in your thoughts. You can isolate yourself, and it's just this cave that you put yourself in. And that's what I was starting to do. I was only leaving to the grocery store and I've still been doing that, just leaving to the grocery store every 2 weeks whenever I need to fill up. And so I'm like, so number one, reach out. It's okay for you not to be okay. It's okay for you to say, I'm feeling weak. It's okay for you to say, you know what, I'm feeling this. Let it out. Sometimes it's okay with just having people listen to you. They may not have the right words to say to you. If they do, great. That means, be thankful to God for those people. But sometimes you just, if they're just there to listen, good, but open up to someone, talk it out, let it out, vent. It's a release, from everything you keep in your mind, everything you keep on your chest. Number two, I've sought the help. I've really, something that really helped me was a prayer that Pastor Angel, like in my church that I've been joining with on Sundays, he really prayed over anxiety and he prayed over depression. He prayed over, again, like especially in times like this, people are dealing with a lot of that mental health. So it's really important to have prayer, to stay connected. I was not only disconnecting myself, but I also felt a disconnect with God in my prayer life. Like I would try to pray, but because of the funk that I was feeling and just kind of like not making the time necessary to talk to God and really just pour out my heart to Him, I felt like that prayer really helped. Like I let it out, I cried it out, I asked God for help. And I've tried to incorporate taking walks outside, getting some sun. If you're right now there's quarantine going on, and yeah, you're not allowed to be out in public places, but it's important for you to get fresh air. And I really was not getting fresh air at all. Like I was just inside from morning to night. So I've really made myself a commitment to step outside at some point during the day. Doesn't matter how busy I am inside, working from home. I'm going to step outside, try to walk, especially in the weekend. I try to just come sit out here, whether it's reading a book, whether it's watching. I've been watching, positive stuff on YouTube, to speakers, to sermons, to stuff that's going to help me, because when I tell you that every time you open up, like when I would open up a new tab on my Internet Explorer, like it always would have a whole, like the news just right now, the news is crazy. And I am not in any way trying to, like, how do you say, ignore the facts that are going on in the world right now. It's devastating. It's crazy. It's sad. With this coronavirus going on and the deaths and everything going on in the world right now, it's crazy. But I chose that I'm not going to be watching, keeping up to date at every moment, all of the updates that are going on. Like, what good is that doing to me? You know, being bombarded with everything that's being put out in the social media, on the news, just kind of like the constant, and you're just like it wants to spread a terror, a fear in your mind and in your heart. And I'm like, I refuse. Like, I know the facts, but I'm not going to live in this fear and just fill myself with fear. Like, I need to be filling myself with stuff that's gonna empower me, stuff that's gonna help me right now. I listened to a really great preaching by Pastor Stephen Furtick about where he talked about really like going back to normal. Like, what is normal? You know, things aren't going to go back to normal. Like, they're not. They're going to be different. It's setting up a new normal for us. And just really like talked about just like it was just really, really good. So stuff like that, sermons and taking walks outside, taking breath of fresh air. I don't know all of the scientific things to it, but you know, like we need the fresh air outside. We need that oxygen, you know, in our bloodstream. We need to walk it out, you know. We need, this is therapy alone, you know, sitting out here. So yeah, stay connected, you know, take breaks, talk to people, get help. So I have a friend named Naomi. She's actually a life coach, you know. I would call her like a life coach. And so I've taken it like an extra step to even be, you know, working with her. She's helping me, and like, because, you know, it's needed. I don't just want to like say, oh, I'm okay. You know, I receive a couple good words and I'm fine, because I'm not going to say like I'm all like 100. I do feel a lot better every day. I see myself, you know, like I see improvement. So it's definitely something to work at for sure. Like actually taking steps to becoming better, to getting out of the funk, to getting out of anxiety, to getting out of depression, whatever it is that you alone may be experiencing too. Like, how will you get to maybe not to the other side, because I feel like we won't always be like, oh, now I'm 100% good, but definitely how to work through it, you know. So little by little, you know, I'm taking those steps. So you have to find out like, how can I get out of this? How can I work through this? Little things. And then I've kind of had to come back to like, what do I love doing too? You know, that was a question. It's like, what do you love doing, you know? And one of the things that I love doing is making videos, is food and stuff. So even that, you know, when you're not yourself, you kind of put those things you love to the side. And even with like everything going on, you don't have time for it, but try to make times for the things that you love to do them, you know. And so I've come across some videos that I had saved there that I did months ago, and I posted them, and I really do love doing this. So, you know, find out what you love and try to make some time for it. You know, you maybe you don't have the time for it as much, being a mom or a dad, being, you know, with a lot of work or what you're doing, but try to make some time for yourself. It's really important. It's really needed. Sometimes to really kind of have that a little bit of selfish attitude and think about like, what can I do for myself today or this week, you know, or this month, once a month, but do it. It's really, really needed. So yeah, do you have to have it together all the time? No. Do you have to stay in a funk? No, you do not. It feels good to be in your funk. It feels good to be kind of in kind of like we've been talking about, like being in a cave, to being in that hole, and you become comfortable there, and then you kind of don't know how to get out. I really encourage you that if you've been dealing with mental health, if you've been dealing with depression and anxiety and stuff, to really take the decision and say, I want to get out of this. Because you can choose to stay there too. It can be a decision, but choose and make the decision. I am tired of being this way, of feeling this way. I don't have to remain here. You don't. I know God doesn't call us to live life half of it. No. He says he came to give us life and have it in abundance. And many of us aren't living that abundant life. Like, I've had to share, like, it's crazy that even though it seems that the world is still, even though it feels like I'm still because I'm home, because I'm not going anywhere, I'm not doing anything, you know, even though it feels like a stillness, time is still going. Guys, we're already going to end April. We're going to go to May, and it's almost like, oh my gosh, like what? Like, to me, it feels like I just kind of stopped in February, and then from there, everything else is like a blur. But like, time is still moving, whether things are back to normal or not. Time is still going. That's not going to stop and wait for everything to go back to normal, for this to be cleared out. Like, time is going by. We're losing the time that we have here on earth. So it's like, I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste it halfway. I don't. And God really wants us to live life to its fullest. He wants your cup to be full. And if your cup is half empty, almost empty, or if it's feeling empty, you know, dry, when you're in a dryness, ask God, like, God, fill up my cup. And I've had to ask God to really fill up my cup, to really refresh me, to give me his joy again. A really good illustration that I heard, and I'll finish off with this, was what the presence of God does is that his presence, if you're feeling sad, it says his presence gives us joy. So when the presence of God comes into our hearts, into our lives, it pushes out, you know, those things that are not supposed to be in there. It pushes them out. So I don't know if you've ever been to like Chuck E. Cheese or one of those, you know, fun places, and they had the slot machines of the coins, and you put in coins, and then, you know, all of those other coins come down, and that's exactly what you do whenever you're pouring into your life. You know, when you allow God to just pour his presence into your life, it's like that more coins coming in, and all those negative feelings that are in there, they're just coming out. They come out. And so it's just really important to just keep filling up the cup, because these are trying times. It's challenging. There's challenges everywhere. But I knew that I didn't want to keep being like this. I didn't. So as you see me, like, now, you know, I'm slowly getting back to normal. I don't want to say back to normal. I'm slowly getting there, you know. Do I feel 100? No. But do I feel better, and do I feel like, man, like, you know what, I'm going to conquer this? I am. And I would wait to share this till like months down the line, but I think it's something so real that I know I'm not the only one who have been dealing with this. Or if you're feeling this way, you're not alone. That's the enemy. And I want to tell you that, again, God's plan, he wants you to have life in abundance, have it to the fullest. And one quote was also said that I really liked in that switch was like, even in the dark, God still speaks. So it may feel dark right now, like there's a lot of darkness in the world, but even then God is speaking, and it's like, what is God speaking to you? What is God? My phone died, and that is a sign that I've gone too far with the time. So thank you, God. Just take a deep breath. Go outside. Take a deep breath. And we're going to get through this together. We're going to make it through. I love you guys. Thank you guys for your love. Thank you, to the people who have been working with me, who have been, really, that I've been able to really open up to and have some good conversations with and help me. I'm really blessed to have you guys in my life, yeah, I'm really grateful. So today I shaved my legs for the first time. I don't know who else is doing that, but it's got kind of bad. But we're gonna get ourselves together. So step 1, shave your legs, done. We're making improvement. I will wear makeup again soon too. So I love you guys. Stay strong. And like my shirt says, we are all essential. You're essential. You're needed. We need you. So don't give up. Do not give up. All right. Be blessed. Love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.